my therapist is having a bad day. So I thought I'd just take over and, you know, I'd be the therapist today, and I'd let her just, do whatever people do when they find out that they've been bamboozled. So, if anybody actually looked at the last one that she put on there about Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, well, quite frankly, that kind of bothered me because I couldn't figure out what the hell that was all about. So I said to myself, I talked to myself, that's the only way I could hold an intelligent conversation these days. I said, you want to explain that to me? I mean, you got this situation that you don't seem to be able to get over, and it hasn't anything to do with me because, you know, it's the other guy. What was his name again? And we're not going to say it out loud, but Humpty Dumpty, right? Let's call him Humpty Dumpty. Okay.
He was a guy I thought was sober, contrary to you.
What?
He was a guy that I was under the impression was sober.
You were under the influence of his bamboozlement.
I worship sobriety. That's what I do. So I was all too willing to believe that he was sober.
That kind of lets you know my relationship with you right there, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it has for some time. So I was under I wanted to believe that he was totally sober, totally in control of life at the moment.
Well, he looked pretty good, you know, for the time I was seeing him.
Yes, he looked very good.
He was always slipping and sliding around, you know. It just.
Well.
You remember you called him Humpty Dumpty, and I looked at him like the Cheshire Cat. Now, folks were talking about, you know, Alice in Wonderland story. Cheshire Cat would be able to make a big smile, didn't hardly say anything, and just smile, and then he could disappear. And then he would reappear and disappear. And this was pretty much the way that I remember this guy. I don't know what all of you women saw in him. To me, if I could get 2 sentences out of him, it was usually when you're on the move and he's...
Well, he was attractive, charming.
Not to me.
Well, to us ladies he was, and sober, so we thought.
And?
Well,
now, wait a minute. This is hearsay evidence. I did not hear this. What's ever going to come out of her mouth is somebody else put it in there. So,
well,
but I'm pretty sure I know her references are pretty doggone good. Good references.
What I'm going to say is what I observed myself. I begin to suspect, quite a bit to my horror, that he might be fooling around with drugs, illegal drugs. Because of one night
fooling around?
Yeah. Well, I went to his apartment. If you're doing
illegal drugs, you aren't fooling around, baby.
Yeah, he was my, my example of what a person can be if they'll sober up. They will.
Well, if he's on illegal drugs, I mean...
Well, yeah.
Remember the guy that used to live here that was on heroin for 20 years and he hated alcoholics?
Yeah, right.
He couldn't stand me. Oh, you drink. I said, yeah, but you're on heroin and you're on methadone, you know, I mean, yeah, but I don't drink. Holy crap.
Well, for one thing, I think it's terribly dangerous for a reformed alcoholic who knows that he can't drink to fool around with drugs because it's too close to the alcohol high, and it's going to undermine his years of sobriety. In my opinion, I would have thought that he would think that. And so when I went to his house, knocked on the door, and he came to the door, and he looked like he was high on something. He nearly fell down. I tried, I mean, I saw some blue smoke, I don't know what all, you know.
I wonder what that might be.
Well, I don't know, but I suspected, I began to suspect, oh my gosh, he's lost his, but I didn't want to think it. I even brought it up to him later and said, well, you nearly fell down. What, you know. He didn't offer any explanation, so he just kind of left me up in the air. Well, sure enough, a few months later, 2 or 3 months later, his years of sobriety ended, and Humpty Dumpty took a great fall.
Well, if I remember correctly, I said he did a header off the 15th floor.
Well, yeah, well, it's really shocking and very disillusioning when someone who's seemed to be doing very well, who's good looking, personable, I don't care how you say it, well built, tall, handsome, does a header, ends up on the street.
All the things that
dirty,
I'm not, right?
Disheveled, killing himself. I just, you know, it was a horrible shock. I haven't got over it yet, you know. I mean, because I thought
but
this guy...
But he was a nice dresser.
Yes, he was a nice dresser. Now he don't care what he looks like.
He's got a running all over his pants. Stuff is dribbling out the bottom of his vomit all over the front.
Painful. This is so painful. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, is substance abuse going to win the battle? Is substance abuse going to
was never even in the battle.
Overcome us? Just like you. Here is another man.
I'm a therapist today.
Good looking. Smart, according to him, high IQ. And this man gets up and drinks vodka.
Of course, you're going to tell him I'm an idiot?
At 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. He's fixing himself a drink.
You weren't here at 5.
See, you're my ongoing, you know, tragedy.
That's right.
And then he added to it.
Right.
And I mean, I've had 2 or 3 rough months, I'll tell you, you know. When I have to contemplate 2 important men in my life, my age, the destruction, total destruction.
Oh, at your age, not your age, but at your age. Yeah.
They're even younger than I am. They're as close to my age as I could associate with. And these 2 men, look at this one, a wreck, complete wreck.
Am I supposed to argue that? I mean, would you really want me to argue that?
That's why
am I supposed to take the
I'm
pro?
His therapist. I've been his therapist for 4 years. Folks, this therapist has made absolutely no headway whatsoever. He has not gone sober a day because of my therapy, years of my therapy.
Now wait a minute, I'm the therapist today. You're the one that's got the serious problem. This guy comes through your walls at nights and talks to you while you're asleep?
No, well,
okay.
I'm afraid those days, the nights are turning cold in Phoenix. He's on the street, the last I heard. How long is he going to last, you know? I mean, he's not going to be able to go anywhere. He's not going.
That's why he comes over to your room.
He's going to be dead. He's going to be dead.
He comes into your room.
Well, all day long yesterday, I was saying to him, "Oh, you disillusioned me so bad. You have fallen. I held you up as an example, and you have now look at you. It's just so sad." And I told this man, that's where you may be headed in your last days of extreme
Stick around, folks. We got a few more minutes before I beat the living crap out of it, okay?